Hello, friends and followers. So, I have a friend, David, who uses eBay a lot to sell some amateur radio equipment. And one of the challenges of eBay is how to add a link to a YouTube video into your eBay listing. So, I've been using the Thunderbird email program, and at least for me, I can send links back to myself and they become formatted correctly, and I just paste them into eBay. So David uses a different email program, and it doesn't seem so kind to him with the links. So anyway, these are David's links, and this is the example I sent him. So I'll show you how this works on eBay at least. So I was asking David to cut these links out here and paste them on his listing. So I'll pretend on David, and I'll just say, okay, I'm going to copy these, right? So we'll do a copy. And now we got the links. All right, so that's cool, right? So now I'm going to edit a listing I have in eBay and just show how this works. So now we'll go into eBay. And I'm going to say my eBay. And then my listings here. Let's see, selling. There we are. Let's go into active listings. All right, so this little bottom one here is one I'll use for a demo for David. So we'll just do a click on this one. And it's something I've been selling for a long time. I'll do a revise on it. Now, because I'm using Thunderbird email, I can just type this thing in here and it'll work. All right, so I'm just going to say blah, blah, blah. Okay, where's the part where I do that? Okay, right here. So if I'm David now and I want to add this links to my videos, I would just paste this stuff in here from the Thunderbird email program. And the links look blue, they're already there. And now if I say, how does this work? Why did it work so well? Well, first of all, let me save, well, I could save this and show you that it works. But more importantly, I want to show David how he can change these things to work in his program, in his eBay. So the way we do that is we're going to show each HTML code. And the way you get there is you have to use options, which I've showed David before. So we'll click on this, and if I click on this, it'll change this old HTML, which is kind of ugly, but here we go. So now we click on that, and it didn't do anything. Why not? Good old eBay. There. Okay, clicked on it a few times, and it kicked in. So this is all HTML code. Now, the line that needs to be changed is, which line? Which line? Which line? It's going to be this one. So HTML is kind of messy, but you want to find a line like this. And I think I told David the wrong stuff before. So with HTML, you can just add stuff anywhere, but really the line that matters for David and for anybody using eBay is this line, and this is ends in an A, so you want to find where this thing ends. And as I told David, this would not be easy or nice. Class, it looks like it did it a bit differently here this time. Really messy. Okay, it ends in an A, so really what he wants is this stuff. So to get a link into eBay, you want a line that always begins with an A, like that. And then you put your, okay, so it's going to be an A and an HREF equals. and then a quote. So this is how you begin your line. And then you put your URL here from, damn this thing, you put your URL here from YouTube right smack there. I'm not sure what else crap is it used, but it's putting in formatting. And then you put this little guy in here, and you put the rest of it right here of your URL, which is the same thing. This URL is the same as this URL here, but this is actually a name you can type in, and I'll show you how that works. And then you put this little A here. So let's then do this manually as David would do it, or anybody would do it, okay? So say I want to put this link at the end of my listing, and I'm thinking I got to use this div stuff here. So I've done HTML a bit, but what I'm going to do is just do this thing all over from scratch for David. So we'll do it right here. So we're going to start off with this HREF equals. So David would type this in right here. So we're just going to construct this out of nowhere. Okay, so we'll just do a paste here. And now we're going to take his URL from directly from his YouTube that he copied from YouTube. So we're going to put that right there. Just like that. And it's got to be in quotes. Okay, yeah, you need quotes. You need the two quotes, right? So put the double quotes on either end. Like that, right? And all we need now is to add this little bracket, angle bracket, right? Like that. Okay, cool, huh? Coolio, coolio. Now, the text you put in here will be the message that appears on the eBay listing. So it doesn't have to be all this. I could put in something here like check out this cool Collins video. It doesn't have to be this ugly URL thing here, okay, just like that. And then we're just going to add it with, we're going to end it with this A tag. Anything in HTML with a slash is an end tag. So the little slash A means we're ending the A tag, right? We're going to end it right here. So, HTML lesson 101. We started with an A tag here, okay? So we started this. This is called an HREF. I don't know why, but it is. And then we put in the URL here. The URL goes here for the exact address of the video you want to play. And we end that thing with this little bracket here. Then we put the text we want to see on the eBay listing right here. And end it with this end thing, this slash A href end right here. So that is how you do this, right? This in the quotes. I have these quotes here, right? So put your URL in quotes. This has to be the exact URL you got from YouTube when you did a copy of your URL. And that's it. So now if I save this thing, you should see this thing and you should see this thing, right? So let's do a save on this thing now. Blah, blah, blah. Save, 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 revise it. Okay, let's go revise, revise, poof, like that, okay? We'll see if eBay accepts it. It did accept it, okay, like that. Now we're going to view our listing right here. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, look at that. So it didn't work. It put these in. And these will work. but it didn't put in the one I changed. So that'll play. All right, so let's go back and edit the thing again and figure out why it didn't work. HTML 101. So now I want to edit the thing again. Revise listing. And I want to go down here to back down here, show code, and examine what happened. So what's in here now? I have my HREF here that worked, and here is the HREF that I added below that. And do I need a div for it? Let's see. HTML is a real pain in the ass. Okay, so this is the one that works, and we have the URL there. URL like that. Data auth not applicable. My God. Okay. So do we have to make it just like that? Maybe so. Okay, so let's copy it the way they did it and make it work. I'm not sure why it's doing it like this, but maybe eBay changed things. So we will take out what I added here because it didn't work, and check it over. It will say, why didn't it work? There's the little bracket thing there. There's the quote. There's the text. So let's then get rid of this because it didn't work. And we'll copy this new one from scratch. So again, we're going to do this. I hate eBay. I really hate it. Do this, and we'll copy the URL from our YouTube video. Just like that. Okay, and then for reasons unknown to me, we'll put in this stuff here. All this CRAP. Back to the little bracket thing. Just like they had it. And now at this point, I can put in text that I like. So I'm going to put in just like that, right? And then we're going to add the end here, this little A thing here. And this should work. So I guess I'll put this div in here too, right? Just to make sure it works. So on this section here, I'll put the div back in. Div, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all divs need an end. So there's that. Do I want to do that? It should be a /div down here, right there. There it is. Okay, I'm not going to put that in. I'm just going to take this out. Okay, so this is what I added. There's a div end right there. Div, 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 div. Jeez, I hate eBay. Do I need another div in here? Let's assume I do. Damn eBay. Okay, so we'll go like this. Copy that. So put this div in here. So this section then here becomes, we put in this, we put in this, we put in this for this URL. We put in this, and now we're going to add another div end here. Let's see if this works on eBay. This is why I want David to use Thunderbird email. It's easier than all this SHIT, which is a real pain in the ass. Okay, there's our div. So really then we added this div, we added this font crap, we added this A for href line. We added the same YouTube URL along with crap eBay had in here. And then we put text in right here, and we ended the href right there. And we put an extra div in the bottom. Let's see if it works. Now we're going to do a revise. Boom. And eBay does what? It says it did it. Now, let's view it and see what happened. And that got screwed up. There we go. Okay, it did it. So that's how to do it. You can see that it put that right there. Now, I could revise this and put spaces in. I think that would work. So I could do a revise now. Revise listing. Where's my revise listing? And not use HTML mode and just put some spaces in there. So I don't want to use HTML mode here, which I'm not going to use now. See, the HTML code is not checked. I'm just going to go here and add a space, boop, boop, like that, and say revise. So all that work to add that stupid link. Now we're going to view our listing again. And run on down here. And now you'll see the spaces right there. And instead of seeing this CRAP crap, we have this. And we'll click on this thing now and watch what happens. There's David's video right there. All right, so how did we get here again? Let's go back and say what David has to do. So we'll go back here and we're going to revise again. Revise, revise, revise. There it is. And now we're going to go back to HTML mode here. Blah, 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 blah. HTML mode. Click back on this. Boom. There's the HTML. So anyway, what do we do here? For this last one here, so David, pay attention. You got to put this stuff in. A div, this, and then we put in the HREF equals. Okay, and now you paste in your YouTube URL exactly. You have it here in these double quotes. I'm not sure what all this crap is, but I guess you got to put in all this crap here. And I see a quote here too. I'm not sure. Well, okay. Anyway, there's a quote here. This is called boilerplate. So you put in this boilerplate, and you got to get this little guy in there. And then you can put your nice text in here instead of the URL, right? And then you end your href right here. And then you got to add a div down here because you got a div up here everything has to match. If you got a div up here, you got to put an end div down here along with the rest of them, okay? So this is what you have to add to make the link work, and then you got to put a div down here somewhere, end div. And that should work. Actually, look, here's the stuff you add right here. Just add it like this. Add all this stuff like that. Put your URL for your YouTube right there in double quotes. Add the boilerplate here like that. And then in the end, you'll put your friendly text in here, what the video actually does, and revise it, all right? And then you're done. Painful, but this is how you do it with HTML. It's easier using Thunderbird like I do, but hey man, this is how I used to do it. This is how I used to do it before I figured out my Thunderbird email trick, where I send myself the code and do it that way, and it just converts it. So anyway, this is how to do it. And there's the video again right there. Dog X-ray. All right, that's my lesson. I'm done. I hope this helps somebody out there. Take care. It's 4 in the morning here, 4:25 in the morning, and I can't sleep as usual. I gotta go back to bed. Bye, bye, bye.